Christa is a character in TellTale's The Walking Dead franchise. Introduced in the third episode of the first game, Christa is a character paved in mystery. There are so many elements of her character, such as her opinions and morals during the apocalypse, and also the theories surrounding what happened to her, and whether or not she was a good carer for Clementine. In this video, I am joined by Brooke from the Lesbiducks channel.
Thank you, Sailors. I'm a fellow content creator that sometimes dives into TellTale's The Walking Dead, so it's a pleasure to be here.
Whoa. Just before we start, I want to ask you guys just to check you are subscribed, as it really helps me out. If you don't enjoy my content, you can always unsubscribe at one point. Not much is known about Christa before the apocalypse began. All that is really known is that Christa and her partner Omid lived in an apartment in San Francisco, and were on a road trip when the apocalypse first broke out, and therefore had no reason to go home.
Oh, and they had a cat. During the first game, we meet Christa and Omid when the train gets stopped in its tracks by a giant oil tanker. Omid helps you get the oil tanker down, and whilst you are doing this, Christa is getting to know Clementine a little bit more.
Christa proves herself throughout the first game as someone who is more than capable of looking after herself when Omid gets injured. Omid injures his leg when he is jumping onto the moving train to avoid the immense herd of walkers. When the group invades Crawford to get supplies, Christa goes with Vernon to get medicine. This was when Christa and Lee find some videotapes of a girl who is being forced into an abortion by a doctor, and this makes Christa quite distraught and emotional. The first indication that Christa is pregnant within the games, when they are escaping through the armory, Christa shoots a walker and saves Lee's life as he is reloading his gun.
Lee evidently trusts Christa, as he wants Clementine to go with her and Omid should he not live whilst saving Clementine. Christa proves herself as trustworthy and strong, which is part of the reason Lee trusts Christa and Omid enough to let Clementine go with them after they escape the Marsh House.
Christa and Omid are not in the second game for very long. When they are refreshing their supplies, Clementine gets ambushed by a girl who is trying to steal her stuff. This is when Omid walks in and sees the scavenger and tries to sneak up on her, but the door makes a sound behind him and the girl panics and shoots Omid in the heart.
When quite a heavily pregnant Christa comes into the toilet and finds Omid bleeding out on the floor, she shoots and kills the scavenger. No hesitation, just a shotgun to the stomach.
This is when Christa starts to go on the downfall and lose her sanity a bit. Further into this episode, just over 2 years has passed, and Christa has unfortunately had a miscarriage, and therefore the baby has not survived. Christa appears distant and cold, and this is the first time we have seen her act this way with Clementine.
Christa talks about a colony up north called Wellington, and the plan she has for her and Clementine to join this group after 2 years alone. They are trying to keep a fire going at the time, but are running out of firewood, so Christa goes out to get more.
This is when Christa and Clementine once again are snuck up on, and get ambushed by more scavengers. Clementine has two options. She can distract the scavengers and get away, or she can simply run away, at which point one of the scavengers will stab Christa in the leg with a spear. After this, Clementine falls into a river and loses Christa. At the end of the episode, Clementine finds these same scavengers, bleeding out, and demands they tell her what happened to Christa, but they die before they can answer, leaving Christa's fate incredibly uncertain.
Christa, just before going missing, seems to be cold towards Clementine. She's teaching her the basics of survival, but she's not really talking to her, or making sure she's okay at any evident point. Losing Omid and then having a miscarriage has seemingly made her lose her sense of purpose.
The argument for this episode is whether or not Christa was a good carer for Clementine. Clementine was quite young at the end of the first game, and Christa and Omid took her in. But after Omid is killed, Christa loses her sanity.
Of course, we appreciate her for physically looking out for Clementine, but emotionally, she left her abandoned. And given everything that had happened to Clementine up until this point, the trauma she'd endured since day one, that emotional support should have been a key variable available to her. Christa let her own trauma impact a young girl who needed her the most. And the truth is, we can't blame her. Just like Kenny, she emotionally shut down after experiencing loss. She's still human.
She does not want to live, and has no reason to do so now, arguably. The only thing keeping her going is the fact that she knows she made a promise to Lee on his deathbed that she would protect Clementine. Christa's last act of caring for Clementine is when she sacrifices herself and puts herself in jeopardy to protect Clementine and give her a chance to run away from the scavengers. So this could argue that she actually was a good carer for Clementine. In terms of an apocalyptic situation, Christa is an exceptional carer for Clementine. She teaches her the main benefits of survival and creating a safe environment to rest in. However, as a person looking out for another person, I would argue that she was not a good carer, as she did not have Clementine's best interests at heart. Christa is lost after this episode plays out, seemingly to the TellTale character void. Given how outlandish Clementine finding Kenny again actually was in reality, it's highly unlikely that we'll ever see Christa again. But with the comic books right around the corner, who knows?
In the TellTale trailer vault, there was a lost trailer for season 1 which showcased Christa shooting herself in the head, evidently committing suicide. For whatever reason is unknown, this could have been an insight into a potential deeper look into her mental health decline. I wouldn't be surprised if that's where the idea for Jane's suicide came from.
In conclusion, Christa is a character who does not necessarily have a lot of time to grow throughout the franchise, given she's only in it for a few short episodes. However, the game showcases Christa as a very emotional character, and after losing Omid, it is evident once again that she does not know how to deal with the loss of her partner and the eventual loss of her unborn child.
She was a caring partner, with the potential to have been an even better mother. With both those things being taken away from her, she really had nothing left to lose. I personally loved her, and it's been a pleasure to discuss her here for you today.
Anyway guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please make sure you check the subscribe button, and also hit the bell down below so you never miss another Walking Dead upload. Also, let me know what other videos you want me to see me make down below. Also, go and check out Brooke. You can find her socials down below in the description. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll catch you guys later. Peace out.